I bet that you didn't know that your pelvic floor is like a sump pump. And I'm about to tell you why. So think about your pelvic floor like this. It is this beautiful, intricate, like meshwork of muscles that holds up the bottom bowl of your pelvis. Think about your pelvis like a bowl, an opening that goes all the way around your waist. And that opening and these muscles contain and hold and support everything above them. That's a lot of things to support. So I'm talking about like your bladder, your uterus, if you have a uterus. I'm worried that there's going to be a bear that's going to walk up on me, but I hope not. Okay, back to this. Your intestines, if you're a human, you have those. Your kidneys, your adrenals, your liver, your gallbladder, your pancreas, your stomach, your spleen, right? These pelvic floors muscles are responsible for a lot. So I think about them all the time. And it's really shocking how little we focus on them because they do act like a sump pump. So what does a sump pump do? A sump pump is responsible for like pulling water out of the basement of a home that has a second story. There are so many hawks around here right now. Hello. And your pelvic floor does that because think about it. You have these delicious blood vessels, arteries that run down through this pelvic floor, go all the way down to the very tips of your toes. They start with bigger arteries up here and they branch off into smaller arteries and arterioles and capillaries. And these guys and girls carry oxygen down to all of your 10,000 parts and all the way to the tips of your toes. I'm not even kidding you. What I need you to understand is that they then go from your arteries into your veins, your venous system. And your venous system is different than your artery system. Why is that not sounding right? It doesn't matter. It's different. Veins have valves and they don't have this muscular framework and this pumping action that your arteries have, not to the extent that your arteries have. Your arteries have muscular walls. And they also have more hydrostatic pressure. In other words, they're closer to your heart. So they are receiving the benefit of this really gorgeous organ that is pumping blood through them. But by the time they get through all of your arteries and down to your veins and coming back up your body towards your heart, you're in the venous system. The venous system has valves. And every time the blood moves a little bit from the hydrostatic pressure that's left over or from you moving your muscles, pumps those veins and moves the blood up to the next valve. It gets caught in the valves and then it gets pushed along to the next valve, all the way back up to your heart. This is important because those veins run through your pelvic floor and your pelvic floor actually pumps and pulls the blood and the fluid and all that business up from your lower extremities. This is important. Listen up here. Super important, super important. Do you know what works those pelvic floor muscles? Like contraction on purpose? Sure. Moving your body, exercising, like chair position, things like that. I mean, all kinds of things can activate your pelvic floor muscles. But breathing is one of the most important parts. Because every time you breathe, your pelvic floor muscles descend and then they come back up. They are literally pumping fluid up from your lower extremity. So if you're experiencing puffiness in your legs, if you're having trouble losing weight and a lot of that weight that you're holding onto is in your butt and in your legs, in your thighs, if you've got like, saddlebags and things like that, I want you to think about your pelvic floor. Please think about it. Because I'm going to tell you a secret here. When you sleep at night, you actually don't breathe very deep. We breathe in a very shallow way. So a lot of things in your body become stagnant while you sleep, including your pelvic floor muscles. They're not pumping deeply because you're sleeping. And so that's one of the reasons I'm going to tell you it's important for you to get up out of bed and get moving. A lot of times what I do is while I'm warming up a pot of water, I'm like jumping in the kitchen, getting things going. And, and I do things with, like what's that called? Gua sha? Am I saying that right? I'm probably not. I have these little brushes that I help to move the fluid out of my face that accumulates while I sleep. It happens to all of us. It's because we slow everything down. We're not breathing deeply. We're not moving our bodies. And so our lymphatics aren't working as well as they could be. So move your body, breathe well. And so we need to talk about breathing well here. And we must talk about breathing well here because a lot of us, again, have made a habit out of holding our breath, unfortunately. I think most of us have been doing it a lot of our life, but it got a lot worse in 2020 for a lot of us. We've all been like holding our breath collectively, waiting for the next like shoe to drop, waiting for the next existential risk to captivate our minds and cause us to betray our bodies in real time. For real. I'm telling you, for real. For me, this is my experience. If this doesn't resonate with you, then my best suggestion is that you scroll on because somebody else will resonate better. Probably. Maybe you already know all this. So the pelvic floor muscles and the moving up and down. Breathing. Okay, so first of all, we need to talk about our posture here because a lot of us, especially those who have our brains that just happen to have bodies, you know that type. You like think really fast on your feet. You have a deeply high performing job, and maybe you put everything else before yourself. There's that person too. Like, you should be exercising. You say that all the time. I want to do this. I should be doing this. But you don't do it because you're too busy. Your body keeps the score of that. We don't just get a free pass out of not moving our body. We will suffer the effects of that. And that is something that I see over and over again in myself and in my clients and my patients. So let's talk about it and let's get into it. I want you to see if you can step back into your ankles just a little bit. And then make sure that you feel the four corners of your feet touching the ground, the backs of your heels, the little toe side, the big toe side. Just feel your feet on the ground, first of all. And then I want you to see if you can lift your kneecaps slightly, but don't lock out your knees. Keep a little micro bend in your knees, but see if you can lift your kneecaps up a little bit. The kneecaps can have a tendency to slip forward of your shins, and that will create knee problems over time, like pretty bad ones. So then I want you to think about that pelvic bowl, and you might have a tendency to tip it forward or to tip it back. Depends on how you learned to stand. Depends on who your examples were in your life. How do your parents stand? You might stand like them. I hate to say it. Go look at them. God help us. So get that pelvic bowl more neutral. If you tend to tip it forward, pull it more straight. Pull it more straight by lifting your pubic bone and your lowest belly. Lift them slightly this way. Because when you tilt your pelvis forward, you lose the power of your breath in your pelvic bowl. Because when you breathe, your breath probably slips out right here. You can do a diaphragmatic breath, but it doesn't communicate all the way down to your pelvic floor. I hate to tell ya, but check it out in your own body. This is an experiment. Check it out in your body. When you breathe, do you feel your pelvic floor going down and coming back up, or stretching, or any kind of sensation in these muscles down here? All the way around. You might start by trying to breathe more into like your kidney back, right up in this area, like letting yourself have this 360-degree experience of breathing. Okay, so we've got strong feet, we've got You know, our knees are slightly lifted. Our glutes are engaged, you know, and then here's one that's going to probably make a few of you laugh. Notice your perineum. Notice it. It's a part of your body. It's not just about sex. It's not just the, you know what people call it. I'm not going to say it. Notice it and just bring some awareness to it and some tone to it. It's part of what holds your guts up. Notice it and then bring some tone to it. Get your pelvis a little more neutral. And then this, talking from bringing your attention to the part that's underneath your sternum. Notice that part all the way up your sternum to these beautiful collarbones. Lift that up toward the sun too. Okay? Instead of like sucking yourself in, you want to open up out. Lift your collarbones just slightly up toward the sun. Lift your chin and then pull up the back of your head. The back of your head is not just there to hold your hat on your head. It's actually part of how you were born. If you were a vaginal delivery, this part of you gets hooked onto the pelvic bone, the pubic bone, and keeps you from going back up into the birth canal. Like that's it. That's like the final countdown right there. Anyway, just for funsies. And then, so you want to bring your ears more over your shoulders, right? Like you want your ears to be more over your shoulders, not your head to be forward. You'll lose this connection from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet through your pelvic floor muscles. So your posture and your breath is so important. This is one of the reasons that I recommend, and I do it myself, is jumping. Just look at a timer, set it for a minute, and just jump in your kitchen. And you don't have to do big jumps. You can do little jumps. You can just tap your heels hard on the ground. There's so many ways to move your body. You can hop on a little trampoline out in your living room. And I love that. Do it. Get things moving in the morning. It doesn't take a lot. But the level of importance that it has in your overall health is so extraordinarily important, because when your pubic bone or your pelvic bowl is tipped over and your organs spill over, you're going to describe yourself as being bloated a lot. You will. You're going to feel like it's something, you're blaming it on everything. It's something I ate. I drank a glass of wine last night, and it may be those things too. Don't get me wrong. I ate a cookie. I'm lactose intolerant, but I had a little ice cream. But sometimes it's literally just your organs spilling over and creating pelvic congestion. You know what? It's such a pervasive issue. Like I can't tell you how often I see this in my people. So get it up and pull the top of your head, the very, very top of your head up toward the sky. This is a neurobiocoherence practice. We got to get this body strong. And the more coherent we are, the healthier we'll be. I love you. Get back in your body, and when you're ready, and come back and let's keep talking about it, because it matters. You matter. If your body is hurting, if it's not strong for whatever reason right now, this signal is for you. Anyway, I hope you connect with the dreams of your highest self. I hope you experience more strength in your body than you've ever felt. I hope that whatever pain or suffering you're currently experiencing, that it gets better for you. I love you.